Hey guys, it's me, Lion Grandpa. So if you're wondering why you can't see anything on the screen, that's intentional. That's because my girlfriend said I would not have the guts to come online naked. And so here I am. No, I'm kidding. I have clothes on. I'm sorry. If I scared anybody, I'm sorry. That is what I look like in the bathroom when the door's shut and the windows are closed. Okay, so I wanted to go over a couple things. Number one, I will not answer questions about pierogi. I mean, he's how I started the channel, but I'm not going to answer any more questions about pierogi because it's none of my business. And whatever happened there, happened there. That's not me. That's him. That's not me. And so that's between him and his family and me and mine. It's different. And so let's keep that out of the questions there. Okay, I'm not going to answer questions about that anymore. I've gotten a lot of them offline. I'm not answering them anymore. It's not going to happen. So the next thing I wanted to mention is I do not hate people from India. The reason that didn't scare you is because, well, you were mad at me. I mean, of course you don't care about me being naked online. So anyway, Maya's been mad at me for months. Right, Maya? So, I always tell her that in every chat, whether it's another Scam Baiter chat or whatever. And that's because Maya, one day she was super busy. She was being a moderator and very, very, very busy. And I kept talking to her and she kept ignoring me. So I said, man, she's mad at me. Well, she wasn't mad at me at all. And so then it just became a running joke thing. Right, Maya? Well, I'm looking at my chat on here, and it's way behind what I see on the actual screen. That's just weird. So I'll look at it from there. So Maya's not really mad at me. I still don't think she is. So I was hoping we'd get we're up to 177 subscribers, which is a lot, and it's grown in the last month. So I don't think we had 77, let alone 177 a month ago. We want to get the subscriptions up there. So the reason that we want to do that is so we can monetize this so that we can keep going. I want to train old people like me to not get scammed. Because old people like me, we're the targets of the scammers. We're always going to be the targets of the scammers. And that's just the way it is. Because they're not as technologically brained as people who are younger, because people who are younger, I mean, my generation invented most of the internet stuff, and unless you were in on that, you probably don't know. And when we were young and stuff, there were all kinds of laws. I mean, all of our media was within the country, and there were all kinds of laws about how you could treat people and what you could lie about and what you couldn't lie about. And those people mostly still think that that's what's going on. And then what happens is, after they lose every penny they've ever made, every penny they saved all their lives, they go bankrupt. when one of these scammers drains their bank account, and the next thing you know, they're committing suicide or something stupid. So I'm just saying that it's a very scary time of your life. I mean, my attitude towards Social Security isn't all that great, because when you are pushed into saving really 20% of your income for your medical and your Social Security throughout your life, and that's all you have left because somebody ripped you off, so you're guaranteed to live in poverty, but you'll keep living. That's basically what that is. And so I'm just saying that a lot of these people lose everything. They lose their homes, they lose their cars, they lose every piece of life that we're used to. And that's not good. So that's one of the reasons Pierogi got me that interested in scam baiting, because of his passion. He has a big passion for scam baiting because he just despises them, those people who steal from us. And this is not an Indian thing. You'll see scammers in Pennsylvania. You'll see scammers in Nigeria. You'll see scammers in India, which mostly what I deal with is refund scams. They happen to be in India, but this is not to pick on Indians. I worked in some big corporations like Bayer, PNC, stuff like that, and those corporations hire a lot of Indians, technology people, and those are extremely honorable people. I mean, it's like America back in the old days when everybody got married a virgin and stuff. I mean, it's pretty much what their lives are like. They are very honorable people. These people just make them look bad, and that's just sad. So don't think that I'm picking on India, because I'm not. I don't think there's anything wrong with every Indian or India as a country. It's just sad what these people do, and they do it internationally for a reason. Because if you call the FBI on an Indian, they don't have any authority in India. If you call the CBI on an Indian and their victim is in the United States, they'll say, well, there's no victim here. And since there's no victim here, there's no reason why they should bother with it. And so since the victim is out of the country, they don't enforce anything. And because the victim is in the country, but the perpetrators overseas, our country won't enforce anything. So that's where everything gets all filed up. It's not anything about a particular country. I mean, sometimes I will get Nigerian scammers. That's how I made my first million, was on a Nigerian guy who sent me a picture of a credit card and said that the debit card. All I had to do was pay him $5,000 for the customs fee. And so, really, Ambi, Ambi said that's where her boyfriend is. So, Ambi, are you sending money like every week? Anyway, there's romance scams, there's Social Security fraud scams, there are IRS tax refund scams that they actually send with your name and Social Security number and a different address to the IRS. There are IRS scams where they call you and say that they're the IRS. So older people have to be very, very careful, because if you hear from a guy named Ryan, but he has a thick accent from any other country, from any other language, that don't sound right, then that should be it for you. And companies like Best Buy, Amazon, they don't call you and tell you to send them money in debit cards. They don't do that. The IRS won't call you at all. The IRS starts sending you mail, hate mail. You might want to answer that, especially if the envelope says it came from the IRS. But you do not have to do any of this stuff on the phone that they're trying to pull on you, because they're trying to scam you. These people are not from the U.S. government. There are a lot of people with these fake badge numbers and everything else to tell you that they're calling from the federal government. They're not. they're calling from some call center in India or Nigeria or might even be New York. I mean, we don't know all of them. I have run into one who was in Utah. So they're all calling from different places. They can be from anywhere. They can have a British accent. They can have an American accent. Don't just trust people, and ever let them connect to your computer. iOS isn't going to ask to connect to your computer. They're never going to ask you that. It's just never going to happen. This is how they operate. They still operate kind of like they did in the 70s. It hasn't changed that much. And like Maya just said, they're spoofed numbers. The last scam bait I did, they wanted my bank's phone number off the back of my debit card. Well, what they do then is they spoof the number, call me back, and say that they're my bank. So don't even give out that information. They don't need to know what bank you bank with. You never pay the federal government or anybody with a bunch of Target cards. It just doesn't happen. So please do not get scammed that way. They can sound convincing. It's a scam. They call it social engineering. It's not social engineering when they're ripping you off for everything you own. That's just not true. Let me see. Who is it? We've got Maya in here. We've got Ambi in here. And we've got Anita. Anita, are you still here? I don't think she's still here. I think she left when I said I was naked. Never was naked, folks. Actually, I was dared to do that. Not naked, but just in a robe. I actually thought about doing that one because, might as well, right? I mean, it's a robe. Probably covering up more skin than I am right now. So we got a total of 2 people in here. Anybody got any questions? No? I just wanted to clear up those 2 things. Number one, starting next week, we're going to do this more often. We have more scam baiting going on. Saturday is not a good day for scam baiting. Monday through Friday is, and then on Friday they even leave early, so you got to be careful about what times. I want to do it at least a few times a week, but the thing is, my problem is that I have all these doctor appointments, and it's like they come in waves, and then I can't do anything for a week. So I have to get shoulder surgery. I have to get surgery on my wrist. I have so much crap going on right now that it's just insane. And so that does affect when I can scam bait and when I can't. And then we also have the hours of the people. How did I find SP? You mean how did I find the channel? Scammer Payback? Okay, the way I found Scammer Payback was I was getting scammed like crazy. I mean, I wasn't falling for the scams, but I was getting scammed like crazy. My phone was constantly ringing. It was ridiculous. And so I started going online and Googling, like, how do you make scammers stop scamming you? And so I found a channel about scam baiting. And when you do that, like when you go on Google, they have that thing that goes on in the background, and you watch one scam bait. Next thing you know, your search, you don't have to search scam baiting anymore. I came across Pierogi in all his searches, and he was saying pretty funny stuff that I'm not capable of doing yet, which is like, I'm gonna delete all their files. And I was going, wow, I want to watch it. And plus, Pierogi has a really magnetic personality. And so I started watching him. I started watching Trilogy Media, which personally I like their pedophile stuff better than I like their scam baiting. but they do both. I mean, they're a media company, not a scam bait company like Scammer Payback is. But that's how I found SP Scammer Payback, which was just by searching around how to get rid of scammers, and then it became fun to make fun of scammers. And then we went to Tampa, and that was a blast. I had a really good partner on one scam bait she was a blast, and yeah, most smiles, and she was just a blast. She was just so wonderful, and so I had a ball. Maya was there all day. I think Maya took shifts, right? You beat it all day, like you were right there watching all the scam baiting. Is that what happened, Maya? You were there for all shifts? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't seem to matter when I walked in the room, you were there. And there was some drinking going on. Like, we were drinking at night, and we were drinking even sometimes during the day. The scam baiting is tiring. I mean, to me, coming up with stuff that fast, I was actually exhausted at the end of a 2-hour shift. I was exhausted, and I was like, wow, this is ridiculous. I don't know how Pogi does that, like every single day for 3 or 4 hours a day. That's just crazy. And so then I went in and had a couple of belts. I had a belt with Maya once, and I think I had a belt with Ambi. Ambi was such a asset to my getting there, because she made sure I got a ride from the airport. You were awesome, Amber. You were just awesome. But Maya was supporting us. Anyway, you might say you just beat it all day, but you did a lot more than that. You were actually like a support for the rest of us. You were our audience, and you were our support, and you were over there laughing and carrying on. And so, yeah, you were important to us too. Not everybody wants to get on the phone and start talking to. Not everybody wants to get on the phone and start talking to scammers. That's just not everybody's thing. Hang on a second. Turn on another light. Not everybody wants to do it in person, and there were cameras all over the place. I had one guy on my desk with a camera for, like, when I was talking to Mo or scam baiting with her. I had a guy with a camera on my desk for like an hour, and then for a while there he left it sitting there while he ran off in the conference room and started laughing because we were making him crack up. Like, we could play off each other like we've been married all our lives, and we didn't even know each other. I was just on the phone. I needed a wife, and I turned around, and she was sitting there, and she wasn't talking to anybody. So that was the beginning of a wonderful scam call. And then she was still on it later, like 2 hours after I got off of it. She was still on it with scam baiting with somebody else from the same guy. They just made that guy pay for his entire day. And remember, every single minute that a scam baiter spends on the phone with a scammer, that's 1 minute that's 1 minute they don't have to talk to a real victim. Well, they call them customers, but they're not customers at all. They're victims. I mean, if you're running a business, then you provide something. I had one guy in my last scam bait try to tell me he provided technical services. No, he didn't. There was nothing technical in anything he did. He just tried to pull the wool over your eyes and make it sound really technical, but actually it was very elementary and amateurish. Amber had the pervs. Would you have romance scammers, Amber? What'd you have? I wish I could hear you on there. Amber, one time we're going to do this again. and I'm going to have you call in or something. Actually, I could call you now if you want me to. If I have your number. You could tell us from your perspective what happened. Let me know if you want me to do that. So anyway, folks, we're not here to pick on a country. We're not here to pick on a culture. We're not here to pick on anybody, like as a group. Most Indians do not scam people. Most Indians are, all the Indians I've known were so honorable. Like, they made me crazy they were so honorable. They were so, they were so wonderful. And they had so much integrity. And then you get on the phone with these guys and it just makes their whole country look bad. Okay, I'll wait till your throat's healed. Amber said wait till her throat's healed before we try baiting scammers, or not baiting scammers, but putting her on the call too, because she doesn't have much of a voice. She likes the voice message, and I've turned my headset up all the way to hear it when she does it. Did you know that, Amber? The last couple messages you sent me, I had to turn my volume up all the way, and that almost made me go deaf, because when I got off of that and I went on to something else to watch a TV show or something, trying to rip my headset off my head. I try not to bother my neighbors. I keep my headset. I always use my headset when I'm watching TV or I'm watching YouTube or I'm watching anything. Whether it's my TV, which is over here, or whether I'm watching my monitor, which is over here, I'm always using my YouTube, my Bluetooth headsets. Maya, why are you so quiet? You're never quiet. You don't have much of a voice. Ha, sorry. I'm messing with you. I can read it. I don't really care to bother anybody, when I'm listening to stuff, not even during the day. But lately I've been having a real problem sleeping with this shoulder. I can only sleep in one position. And so that means that I can't turn over, and then the other side gets sore, and so I'm up in the middle of the night. I sleep like an hour and a half, and then I'm up again. So you can only see you on here. I don't know what happened to Anita. Anita, are you still with us? You spell great when you use your voice. Because the computer's doing all the... Actually, you don't. You do better when you're typing. When you use your voice... Courtney! Well, don't crash, Courtney. If you're driving, don't text and drive. We don't want Courtney to text and drive. Courtney B just joined us. We were talking about Maya was beading. She made this beautiful giant. How many beads were on that, Maya? Do you know? Is there any way you could know how many beads were on that? She made this beautiful sign for Scammer Payback People's Call Center. A lot. I'll say there were a lot. What's the size of that sign, Maya? Oh, you're parked? Okay. What are you guys talking on the phone? Oh, and yeah, it's 11 by 17. Yes, Amber, rotator cuff surgery. Yeah, it was gorgeous. It was absolutely beautiful. And it looked a lot like the poster, kind of. And that's a lot of beads. I mean, there were so many beads on that thing. They must have looked at you sideways when you walked in and asked that for that many beads, whatever store you got them from. A very patient person. Did that get done before you left, Maya? Yeah, so I got to get rotator cuff surgery. I've got inserts coming from my feet. My feet are getting very sore because of diabetes. So I have so many doctor appointments coming up. I've also got to have. I'm also in and out all the time for diabetic reasons. So if you tune into this later, Courtney, Amber, Maya, and me were all in Tampa last year in July, last week of July, and we were helping Pierogi scam bait. We had 80 people scam baiting in Tampa, and these people came from all over the country. Yeah, my Tampa crew. We came from all over the country. So some of us live in Florida, obviously, and some of us are from. Amber, where are you from? Some like Washington or someplace, way off west and northwest at that. Some people were from Florida. Thank God for those people because they were our rides when we got there because they had cars. The rest of us flew. Courtney's from Salt Lake City, Utah. So you can see like we were from all over the country. And Amber needed to have surgery and her doctor wanted her to have surgery and Amber went anyway. And she went anyway because the screw came loose in her neck. So I kept teasing her she had a screw loose. By the way, she does have a screw loose, both literally and figuratively. Right, Amber? Amber's funny. You can tease Amber all you want. She'll just laugh with you. But we became pretty close. Me and Amber and Maya and Courtney and everybody, that whole crew. Even though we were in 4 shifts, 4 teams, we all became very close to each other. We all hung out at night. We all ate together. And it was a lot of fun. And that's how I got started. So Amber asked how this whole thing got started, so I brought that up. Is there anybody else in the room who's not typing? Like, everybody made fun of me because I'm like the oldest guy there. I had to get wheelchair to the airplane. Well, Amber had to get wheelchair too, but for a different reason. I walk with a cane, and for me to get on and off airplanes and walk through entire airports is very difficult. So next week I'm going to try to do 2 or 3 per week until I get through the surgery. There might be a week there where I can't lift this this green screen. Oh yeah, we have people there from the UK. Where was Janine from? She was from like Austria, was it? I think Janine was from Austria. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's true. Yeah, I weigh almost 20 pounds less than when you guys saw me last. So I weigh a lot less too, Courtney. So I think I was up to like 260 something when I was down there, and now I'm like 245. I know on December 4th I was 259, and now I'm down to 245. So since December 4th, that's 14 pounds. Of course, you know, Courtney is kind of cute anyway, whether she's heavy or not. She'd get away with that. Amber has the opposite weight problem, don't you, Amber? Yeah, you got to fix that because we don't want you just going down to nothing. She already has to run around the shower just to get wet. Now she lost more weight. I cut sugar out years and years ago, but that doesn't. That's just, after a while. If you when you're diabetic, it can continue to get worse even if you control your diet, and you get on bigger and bigger drugs, and that's not good either. Even 30 pounds heavier. I thought Courtney was a beautiful woman, so I think Amber is too. Maya, I think Maya is too. Like everybody down there was just, like, even if you didn't think they were beautiful when you first met them, they became beautiful to you as time went on. Like, I don't know how to explain that. It's like after a while, everybody down there was just beautiful. And I got to tell you, one of the first impressions I got was when we got. Remember when they handed us those posters? And I was handed mine by Brandon. Brandon, just the way he smiled, his eyes smiled at us. He was like, really, really so nice. And he was asking me where I was going because I was walking out of the room. I thought I was done. I got my poster. I'm leaving. I'm going to go out there. And he was like, where are you going, Grandpa? I said, I don't know. He said, well, sit down over here. Have a drink because you guys don't go out there until your shift starts. I was like, okay. But the whole time, he just had this beautiful heart that you could see in his eyes. You people agree about Brandon? You're right, Courtney. That's absolutely true. Beauty is in the personality and the heart. You don't have to be You want that big boobs to be beautiful. Look at me. I don't have any. I had bigger boobs when I was down there, though. Okay, now I'm drifting off into being stupid. You guys had enough of my rambling for the day? I didn't believe before the group photo, but they want us to put those jackets on. Everything I wear and shirts and everything is a 2X, and 2X for that was way too small. And that was the biggest one they had. And then I didn't want to go get my photo with that jacket that didn't even fit. So I just sat on the sidelines. I couldn't even get my arms in the sleeves on that thing. So it's hanging in my closet here. And when I get to it, when I lose, but hopefully by summer I'll actually fit in that jacket. And that's not even, I'm not even going to say anything on that because that's just not true. You're extremely attractive. I mean, so anybody got any questions about this channel? I don't know why this stream is so far behind for me. I don't see your... I'm trying to fit in the jacket up. Hopefully I will. I don't think I'll be a size 2X. Like, look at this shirt on me. The seam, my arms used to actually go by the seam on the shirt. The seam is halfway down my shoulder. It's right here. And right here. It's way down here. So, nothing's fitting me anyway. I'm going to have to buy new clothes. Yesterday I was walking through the grocery store and my pants started coming down. And my belt was as tight as it gets, so I need to buy new clothes. Walking around, your pants falling off is not a good thing. Nobody wants to see any of this magic. Move the mic? Okay. Let me try to move the mic. Seems to be loose anyway. Let me do it in a way that you can still see it. Or I can still hear. Can you guys still hear me? It's a pretty good mic, so you should be able to still hear me. Yeah, my sleeves are hanging down like this. Like this is where my seam is supposed to be up here. It's way down here. And my other seam is way down here. It's supposed to be up here. It was actually, my shoulder was going past it. Now my shirts don't fit me. It's all big in the neck. This just came out of the washer, and it's still like that. It's too, usually it shrinks up a little bit. Now all my clothes are getting like that. How about you, Courtney? Your clothes feeling better? Fitting better? Or are they just too big on you now? I mean, 30 pounds, that's a lot of weight. Especially on a woman's frame. I can turn the mic up if you need me to. I mean, I can turn this up right here on the mic. These texts are so low. Slow, I mean. It's taking me forever to get them. I have them too, but they're all the way at the airport in my hangar. I was hoping I could get back to flying, but I don't see that happening because now, with my diabetes being as bad as it is, and we also found out I have a real problem with my left knee that I wasn't even aware of. It's just, I thought it was something that could be fixed surgically, but it's just the way the bones are made. I was actually born with a bad left knee. I'm falling apart. You turned up the volume. Okay. I mean, I could turn it up here. Actually, my volume over here is kind of maxed out. Anybody else got any questions? Anything they want to add? Right now, I can't even go up on a flight with me. You know, that was one of my things. I wanted to fly that far west too, Amber. I wanted to be able to fly. One of the things I wanted to do was fly the circumference of the United States. I don't see that happening now. I mean, I've flown a lot of the eastern part of the country and a lot of the central part of the country, because when I started flying, I was living in Wisconsin, and so I used to fly around to Minnesota, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana, Ohio, and then when I moved here, I started flying to New York and Florida and mostly north and south of Michigan and stuff like that. So now I don't think I'll ever get to fly again. It was a good run though, from 1994 till now. There's also a financial part of that. I'm retired now, so flying is not going to happen, probably. Although a friend of mine's taking the plane off my hands. Courtney, have a good one. Bye-bye. Everybody say goodbye to Courtney. Tampa Crew reunion. I think maybe somebody yesterday said they were talking about a place which would be dead center in the middle of the country near Kansas and Nebraska. So, like, the three of us can't decide. Like, who else is in the room? Because I see 5 people are watching, but I only see 2 people that are still here. If Courtney left. Anybody in the chat? I can't tell. I can just see numbers. Courtney left, so there's 4 watching now. But I might be counting as one of them. So anyway, folks, so on Monday we're going to do a live stream to attack scammers, and then we'll try to do it every day that I don't have a doctor appointment. I haven't decided on a time. Just I wake up feeling different every day. I want to get it up to 3 or 4 a week. Friday's a bad day. By the way, does anybody know what happened to AnyDesk live stream for Matt? Is he not doing them anymore? He was going to do them every Friday afternoon, I thought. Are you just too busy at work to do that anymore? Last time I looked, which I think was a week or two ago, he wasn't streaming anymore. He had no new streams. I need to be able to pick a time. How did Progi do it? Did he do it at the same time every day? I can't even remember now. Most of the time I wasn't able to watch live because I was working when he would start streaming. I don't want to do that, but then again, our hours are very similar to the scammers' hours, and so people will have to work. Wow, I didn't know about major hack on AnyDesk. I guess people would be targeting AnyDesk for siding with the scam baiters instead of the scammers. I mean, you know, when you have entire call centers using their product, it makes them look bad, and that's why they took action like they did. Plus, you know, Progi probably used his charm on them and got them to side with us very, very directly. Yeah, send me a link, Amber. Send me a link in our private stuff. I want to see that. So, like, I'm not just going to ramble for forever here. So I'm going to try something like that. Like, so was it 6 p.m. Eastern time? Was that scam baiting, Maya? Or was that just members only chats? I can't do members only because I can't have members. I don't have enough subscribers. I've got 177 subscribers. I can try to call them at that kind of time of the day. The only problem is a lot of them aren't there anymore. A lot of them leave at 6 now. And almost none of them are using AnyDesk anymore because they know what's up with that. Alright guys, I'm going to close this out. Y'all have a good day. And we'll catch you later. Bye.